Can we talk Band in a Bubble?
Let's do it.
I remember vividly seeing it. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. This band is recording an album in a bubble in New York City.
Yeah.
Was that a fun experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's really neat being the, obviously the subject of the conversation, but seeing it from our perspective, it's kind of like being a fish in an aquarium, like nobody really knows what that fish feels like. But we did have a lot of fun. We like uniquely, I think as a band, we never really like acquiesced to what they wanted us to do.
What does that mean?
Oh, so I mean, they viewed it more of like a reality show, and I think they were like, oh yeah, there's gonna be drama, because there's always like you see documentaries and like a Metallica drama, right? And everybody's just like, oh yeah, like there's all this like inner band tension and like they're producing music and it's like the artistic strife. We didn't have that. I mean, we grew up, we had gotten all those squabbles out of the way, like real early, like in high school, and because we kind of grew up together, and then we lived together for, so many years before the bubble, that I think they were expecting a lot of drama, like, oh, there's going to be, it's like, no, man, we know how to live together. Like, we literally live together at home. There's none of this is different.
Yeah.
But, they would try to, like, invent controversy in funny ways, and even like some of the editing, like, oh my god, there's so many different things that go. I mean, I'll rip into it if you want me to.
Please.
There's a lot of stuff with it, but so like,
I mean, I'm sure people want to hear this. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, if anybody's seen the series, I mean, you can go on YouTube and look it up and watch it. I think most of it's on there, and then they have some of like the snippets. I don't know if you could watch it in order so it would make chronological sense, but I don't know if it made chronological sense in the first place.
Because the premise was you had to write an album
Correct.
in 30 days in a bubble where everyone in New York City can come and watch you and stare at you, and you're also being live streamed.
Yes.
No privacy.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, no privacy too. Like there was some weird stuff where we like went in and our first number one business priority when we walked in, like, we got to identify where all the cameras are. So we're like walking in, we're like, all right, there. Okay, cool. So like the actual main like living quarters, what you expect, right? And I don't know I think it was 24-hour live stream, but they might have shut the cameras down like when we actually went to sleep, because it's like, I mean, maybe, I don't know, some doctor would be like, dude, Will's got sleep apnea, man. We need to like get him in some studies. But like they had him in the bathroom, and we're like, okay, hold on, like where are these cameras at? And it had it in like there was a two-way mirror for the like a medicine cabinet style thing. They had one behind there so they could like see us getting ready. I'm like, okay, like I don't hate that necessarily, but whatever. Like people want to see us brush our teeth, like that's weird, but okay. But then they had one, like it was sort of wide angle, and you could almost kind of see into the shower. And I was like, that's not cool. And of course, we had to like sit on the toilet, make sure, we're not going to be exposed in that degree. So we were like, okay, there's no audio, thankfully. But we like had to check all that out. But we'd walk in and just like, nope, turn the cameras up, like just completely blow it up for them. Because we're like, we're not going to let you do certain things. Like that's a little across the line. But even one time, like our old bass player, Jeff, he like raged out because we saw the first episode in the bubble. So we watched it on the laptop that they had there for us when it came out. And we saw some of the, the creative editing that they used to like make certain things look a certain way. Like where I was sitting there playing guitar one time, and somebody made a really dumb joke. And I like look over and I'm like, do the whole like, oh God, that was terrible. That face. And then they, chop edited that against like our drummer saying, he was just making a joke. He's like, I don't even really like any of these songs, whatever. And we were like, ah, ha, ha. And we just had a big laugh. But they chopped that in to like make it look like that's actually what he said. And I'm like giving him the look, and we're like, that's bullshit. Don't do that. So Jeff kind of saw that, and we were all kind of, a little perturbed. But we're talking about it, and obviously people can be seeing, they can see us talking about it, and that's not necessarily good for the brands, that were supporting it. So they cut the internet off so that we couldn't watch it. And Jeff like went full ham and like climbed up and like moved all the cameras and did all this stuff. I don't think that was ever, maybe that was shown on the show, but I mean,
because that was all MTV, right?
It's all MTV. Yeah.
And it was sponsored by Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, and Walmart and Taco Bell and KFC.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, which I mean, like my father-in-law's in the restaurant side, so that's all like one, like it's Yum Brands.
Yeah,
that
Yum
owns
Brands.
all that. So like there was they all just like jumped in on it. And so they just wanted to throw their name on it, which when we were approached with it, it was just Dr. Pepper. And then literally when we drove up in the Suburban, like to get out and walk into the whole spectacle, that's when we saw Walmart and the whole thing. Like we'd had no idea they were sponsors until then.
Did your label okay that, or they?
Somebody did, wasn't us. Yeah.
Overall, did you like the experience? Like, was it good for you guys to write an album in that bubble, you think?
Oh, we didn't write an album in the bubble.
No?
No, anybody who knows anything about like making music knows that one, writing songs in 20 days and then putting it out is crazy. I mean, even with the new album, like I was talking about, like, I mean, that's the fastest I've ever like run through the process. And that took 6 weeks, you know, like definitely wasn't happening in 20 days. And I mean, Chroma had come out like a year and a half before that. We'd been writing like, you know, all along Warped Tour in 06, had wrote most of it. And that was not how we were initially approached either. This is actually a great story. We were just told, it was like, yeah, we're just going to like have you come in and we're going to focus on 4 to 5 songs.
For Band in a Bubble.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. We just want to catch you like finishing the process and like really just kind of like highlight the band. Not one mention that like we're going to try to like encapsulate this whole thing and promote it as such. Because that makes us look like chumps. Like if I saw any other band, like, yeah, they're going to write and record an album in 20 days. I'm like, that's going to suck. You know, it's also like we had a full orchestra. Like where did they, you know, did you see a full orchestra come in? Nope. It's like just, you know, the left hand not talking to the right hand sort of situation. But so I'm doing this is about a week before we go in, and we were playing a show in Greenville, South Carolina. I'll never forget this. And I had to step away from soundcheck because I had an interview with People Magazine, and I'm on the phone, and you know the pleasantries are exchanged, and she's like, "So what's it gonna be like to write and record an album in 20 days?" And I was like, "We've already finished it. What are you talking about?" And the line goes dead. And I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then I get a call from our manager at the time, and he's like, "Yo, did you not see that email?" I'm like, "What email?" And he's like, so that they're promoting it. They're promoting it like you're writing and recording it in 20 days. I'm like, that is asinine. Like that makes us look really dumb, dude. He's like, yeah, we fought it pretty hard, but they were like, we're pulling the plug on the whole thing, or this is what it's going to be promoted like. So we got super strong armed into it. So, you know, we jumped back on, and the line went dead because major labels have your publicity dude like hanging on the line in case things get weird. They'd be like, no, that's off the record. No, don't do that. So that the line went dead because of that. But then we jumped back on, and she's like, okay, we'll just skip over that question. And I'm like, yeah, we will. We got to talk about that. But I mean, obviously there's nothing we could do at the time. It was literally the next week we were going in.
I had no idea that happened.
They've filmed like a lot of the stuff on the first episode. If you watch it, like the intros were like, oh, it's Will. Like, oh, I do this. I like this, or whatever they were doing for all of us. It was literally filmed in the studio while we were recording the record. Like they came to Tree Sound and recorded that in the Studio A lounge. So it was just like, are you guys daft? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And I mean, they kind of were. Let's just be real. I mean, this was the next best story is my wife. She's like the biggest tell it like it is lady, and I love her for it. But we would have like a secret area in the back behind like the bathrooms where we could, you know, take cell phone calls, do whatever, like just back there and just be off camera. And we were talking to our significant others, you know, I was just engaged at the time, but we would talk back there, and they were like, we want to get that on camera. So we go out, and they had a house phone. They're like, yeah, we're going to do that. So she calls me, and I'm like, hey, we need to call this number. And she's like, okay. And she's coming off of a nursing shift, you know, dealing with real life and real problems. And you know, because she worked with babies in the NICU. So she's got literal life and death with like the most innocent people alive.
And you're drinking Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I'm just chilling like, man, like, I don't know if I'm going to finish this song, you know, like try, you know, like just the least priority of anything in life. But so she calls, and she's like, and there's a camera guy like sitting right here, like 5 feet away from me, and I'm on the phone, and it's this like, you know, dimly lit situation, and it's like towards the end of the whole bubble experience, and it's supposed to be, you know, this whole like, I'm proud of you sort of thing, you know, like, oh, hon, I can't wait for you to get home, things like that. And she's like, so why are we doing this? And I'm like, well, the producer thinks like this is like a thing we should be doing. She's like, oh, the guy who produced Yo Mama thinks this is a good idea because Yo Mama was a great idea. Which consequently, like the dude also did Yo Mama. So she just dragged him on this call, which like everybody in production, like they're tapping the phone, obviously. Everybody in production can hear it. The camera guy can hear it because he's got the headphones on and he's got the camera like this. And, we kind of knew all the camera people like without talking to them because they were in there every day with us. And we're kind of like, handing them stuff like, oh, you need a snack. Here you go, bro. Like, never talked to the people, but like had this like, understanding, this good relationship. And I remember like I'm sitting on the phone like this, right? And I'm talking to her and the camera guy's over here and she says that and I go like, and I look at the camera and he's got the camera over here and his head's just like, oh my God, like trying not to like laugh and shake the camera and everybody's dying. I can kind of hear in the headphones, like everybody laughing in the trailer. And I was like, yo, that was on camera. And she's like, I don't care. She's like, I just worked a 12-hour shift. I just want to say hi and I love you. I'm like, love you too. I'll talk to you later.
Do we get it?
So good. Yeah. I mean, this is like all that sort of stuff is like the behind the scenes things that for us are really core memories and a lot of fun. And we did have good times, but yeah, it's just, you get some of the silliness around it and you're like, wow, this is a spectacle. This is crazy.